Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sleep When I'm Dead book discussion for the month of July. I have Gwen here. Oh, good, because I did not grab my phone. I'm not getting up. So Gwen's going to be my book model for the day. But we read and are going to be discussing With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. Probably a lot of people's most anticipated book of the year as far as thrillers. So question for everyone to kick us off. We're saving our star rating until the very end, but comment what you ended up rating the book, or if you are in the middle of reading the book, or let us know where you are with the book. But Gwen, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. My name is Gwen. I'm Jesse's bestie. So that's all the explanation that's needed. But no, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Gwendolyn Kinzinger. Also have a podcast called Talk Bookish to Me. Jesse has been on there a ton. I have an Instagram at Lavender Mud. And I love reading thrillers, romance, general fiction, lit fic, science fiction, a little bit of everything. I mean, I am reading a fantasy book right now, so yeah, I read a little bit, not much horror though.
Yeah.
I mean, I read some, maybe it's like horror in something else, but I had my horror era that I was really trying to get into it. And there are some that I like. I like slashers. But I just don't like what everybody else seems to recommend and love. So I don't know. I just kind of got away from horror for a while.
Yeah, totally. Um, yeah, I mean, I feel like you do read everything. I have noticed that you don't read as many horrors anymore, but I'm
Yeah.
also kind of the same way. I used to be like, oh, I need to read every Stephen King book, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I have a couple horrors on my shelf. I have the second book. It's called Hydra. It's the second book. The first book was Six Stories, and it's by Wesolowski, or I don't know how to say the author's last name. And then I also have House of Leaves on my TBR, but it's not like a priority. It's one of those days where I want to girl, when I had you do that tic-tac-toe video, I was like, I promise you, if she chooses House of Leaves, I'm not reading it right now because
I
I think
thought
I have
about
to be.
sending you,
I
yeah,
mean, I was like,
no,
I
I thought
will.
about sending you a 3x3 of just House of Leaves.
Nah. But no, I mean, I will maybe tackle that one day. But I honestly just found it at the book exchange and, it's half price there. And in the bookstores, it is so expensive. So I was like, if I am ever going to tackle this book, now is the time to pick it up because it was in great condition for 50% off. So I was like, okay, I'll get it. Do I have like an urge to read it? No, not really. But I might one day. So I don't have even on my TBR, I don't have many horrors. So
Yeah, I mean, since I had to reorganize my whole bookshelf because of the fundraiser, I have not that many. Well, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 that are not Stephen King. So,
yeah, I mean, I have a lot that I've read that I've kept, like Rachel Harrison books, things like that. Like I heard
oh,
some of her
yeah.
horror, but
Yeah.
I don't know. And I don't think Stephen King horror is for me. I kind of figured that out this the past year. I was like, I don't think.
Yeah. I kind of burnt myself out from it. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like his non-horror stuff better. But anyway.
Oh, definitely. So, but yeah, let us know what you ended up rating. And then once I get through the comments, we will start our discussion. 3 stars, was so disappointed, wanted to love it, but I found it so repetitive and I got to the point that I couldn't believe anything that happened. Interesting. Hello again. Hi, I binged this yesterday. Woohoo, made it in time. Ooh, yay. Hey, Jordan, gave it 4 stars. This was your first Riley Sager and 2.5. I was a bit underwhelmed. I hope you stick around. 3 stars for me. I'm not positive on my rating yet. No worries. I always feel like, especially for a book discussion, I'm in between readings. And then after I discuss it, I'm like, okay, this is how I feel. So
Yeah, I feel that too.
I feel I can honestly go both ways on my rating, but I'm going to wait till the end to
I'm
solidify.
very solid with my rating. I also had a book discussion for this already, so that kind of solidified my feelings about it. So,
Yeah. Hello again. 2 stars. So disappointed. 4 stars. I love the variety that we're getting. About 20% in, am tempted to give up. Oh no. Hello again. Didn't read this one either, don't don't plan on it. And I'm excited to hear all your thoughts. P.S. My power was out before, so I have to rewatch the Verity discussion. Yeah. So if anyone did not tune in at 7, I actually had a different book discussion with my husband right beside me.
it was such a good
So
discussion. Guys, you have to watch it.
yeah, I mean, it was all Justin's thought. I kind of like tuned in a little bit, but I just wanted to hear his thoughts because I've reread Verity. Like this is, I think that was my 5th time while I was reading it with him. So
Yeah.
So definitely go check that out after the discussion. Devin gave it 2.5 stars. Okay. Lena, I enjoyed this one and I'm excited to hear everyone's thoughts. Yay. Hello, my lovely friend. Can't wait for you to stir the pot. All aboard. 5 stars.
I already knew what his rating was because I looked it up on Goodreads.
Oh yeah.
I'll be stalking Brandon's. I mean, Goodreads. Yeah, I'll stalk his Goodreads. Like, what did he write?
Forgot. Well, I posted on my Instagram what like
some of the people were saying.
I screenshotted his. So I don't know why I was still shocked. Choo choo. I could not do House of Leaves.
Yeah, it's a maybe for me for House of Leaves.
It's more like a novelty item for
yeah, exactly.
Made it about 110 pages into House of Leaves before I gave up. Yeah.
And that says a lot because Angel and I actually typically have very similar thoughts about books somehow, some way.
Okay, I will say when I was looking for a specific book, it was so easy to find my book, but the fact that they're not in rainbow order drives me bananas.
Oh, you have them in genre order now?
No, they're so okay. The very top is like historical fiction, contemporary fiction. So like it's got my Jodi Picots, the Nightingales up there, Tomorrow's up there. Then it goes into my romance, and the romance is divided by authors. So like all my Colleen Hoovers, Emily Henrys, Abby's.
Yeah.
Then it starts horror, which goes over here. Then it goes to thrillers.
So yes, by genre.
Yeah. Sorry. Then it's Harry Potter, and then it continues with my thrillers.
Yeah.
And then my Stephen King's.
So yes, by genre.
Yes. Like, together by author. So
yeah.
I will say I'm thinking about getting a 3rd one in September. We'll see. I either want to do that or I was thinking about getting a new desk, like an Alex 9 desk. So we'll see. I always see House of Leaves at my local library shelf and always tempted to get it, but then I'm like, no. No horror for me. I'll take all the horror. I'll give it all to you. Except for this discussion, even though I have the book 3 stars, it's just not what I want to say. It's a lower rating. I got you. Keisha, I think, went to go see him in person too, like at a author event too. Just peeked in to get a feel of how people liked it, so I could decide if I even want to try it. I got you. Hey, I rated it 4 stars. I enjoyed the story. Wasn't my favorite? No, but I thought it was fun. I gave it 4 stars. It's my lowest 4 star. It's my lowest 4 star in my Riley Sager ranking, but still a 4. I got you. Whoa, a 5 star. I got an IKEA bookshelf yesterday. I'm putting it together currently. Oh, yay. Ironic. Okay. So let's go ahead and start the discussion. We will be talking spoilers. So if you have not read the book, or if you don't mind listening to spoilers, either leave or stick around and come back. But I'm going to start with I'm going to come to that in a second. But how would you describe what With a Vengeance is about, Gwen?
Okay, so With a Vengeance is basically a locked room mystery on a train, and they get lured to the train, and then for revenge, and then they like people on the train start dying, and then they're trying to figure out, okay, who's killing all of the people. So it's going from, I forget where it originates, but it's going to Chicago from Phoenix or something like that. I don't know. Enjoy the ride. Oh no, that Phoenix is the name of the train, but it's from wherever to Chicago, and they're, where?
New
New York to Chicago? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But there's no stops along the way. So it's locked room. They're on a train. There's only a certain amount of people on the train. People are dying. Who's killing them?
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so my favorite question of every book discussion, if you had to use only 3 words, what words would you say would describe the book? Oh, Philadelphia is what someone said. Philadelphia.
Yeah. Sorry. That's what it was.
Write your 3 words in the description as well.
Okay, my 3 words, and also if you just want a shorter version, it even says it on the back. It says a fun mashup of Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None and Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
So basically people dying and then on a train. So my 3 words are greed, murder, and revenge.
Nice. Mine is twist, ride, similar. So
okay.
Let's see. I describe it as Agatha Christie's inspired with a twist. Yeah. Revenge, justice, betrayal. Revenge, mysterious, twisty. So we'll let a few other people pile in. Let me double check something real quick. Okay. So I, at the very last minute, decided to surprise Gwen. I was like, we're going to play a game during the
Actually, we're going to do this instead. Yeah. Okay, fun.
Yeah. I was like, hey, sorry, don't hate me. I was like, we're doing this. And she's like, okay, fine.
No time to prepare. It's cool. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Let's see. Lena said grief, revenge, and murder. Unhinged, greed, and murder. Yes. All right. I'm going to move us over here to the side because we are going to be rolling dice for the questions. It may seem really hard, but I will mark off everything as we go. And I have a pair of dice that we're going to roll. So I think this would be super fun and kind of twisted. We're not doing all of the questions. We'll probably do about half-ish. We'll see how the night goes, but that's our goal. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I mean, we're going to do this. Did I prepare? No, but do I think this is super fun? Yes. This is like the class. I think you should do this more often.
The questions are basic.
I know, but I feel like you're kind of like the queen of games within our friend group and the book discussion. So this is like perfect. I may have to steal this one time.
I did also, so a lot of the questions are like very similar to the ones I ask in every discussion. And then I also included some that people in Discord, provided. So let me go over here to my second screen. We'll go ahead and roll. So the way I'm doing this is the first die on the left will be the top, and then the second die will be on the bottom. So that way, like if I get a 7 with a 4 and a 3, it could be either one. So, and then if we get the same dice, we'll just choose the opposite. So.
Oh, okay. But are you going to do the first die, usually the one on the left and then the top, or the top and then the left?
So
like if we roll a 1 and a 1 or no, like a 1 and a 2, are you going to do like 1 and then go over to 2, or how are you going to?
So I just did a little practice thing. So this is 2. So we'll go 2 on top and then down. next.
Okay, so top first and then
But
side.
then
Okay.
say we get the exact same thing
Right.
again,
Yeah,
then we'll
then
just
we'll
do
do.
the opposite one.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. So, look at that. Okay.
6 and then 2. Okay.
And that question is, if this was your first Riley Sager book, would this story make you want to read more by him, either in the future or backlist?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I personally like locked room mysteries. So I think this would give me a little bit of a false impression of what he typically writes, because I do think this was a departure for him, but that's because I know that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I've read everything that he's written, which may or may not come up later, but it would give me a false impression. But based on just reading this, I enjoyed it. So yeah, I would read something else by them.
Nice.
You, on the other hand, do not
Me, on the
like.
other hand, and like the complete opposite. So I don't like locked room mysteries. I feel like I've been very open about like and then there were none trope. It's actually my like least favorite thing, which is so weird because it sounds so interesting, but when I read it, I'm like, oh, this is the worst.
Yeah.
I personally think if I read this, I would not pick up another one. But that's just me. So I'm just going to kind of start here. If this was my first Riley Sager book, sadly, I would not be interested in continuing. This doesn't mean I hate it, but it was not enough for me to grab me as an author. Yeah. I would definitely not recommend this as my first book, even though I did enjoy it.
Right.
I would read more if this was my first, but I love the historical element. Of course you do. And I agree with Gwen about false impressions. He doesn't do any historical novels. Yeah, definitely. I feel like if I read this and I didn't talk to anyone about it, I'd definitely go and pick it up. But like, if people are like, oh, that's his first historical locked room mystery type of thing, I'd be like, okay. I love his regular stuff. And I say that's the only reason why I'm not loving this one. If I didn't know how much people like Riley Sager, I wouldn't want to read others, but I've read it. But I've heard it's a little different and others really like his work. So I'm not going to let that deter me. I gotcha. I usually don't like Lock Room either, but I'm not really an Agatha Christie fan. This was my first Riley Sager. I don't know if I would continue because I've read other authors that have done Lock Room mysteries better. Honestly, my favorite locked room mystery is And Then There Were None, ironically. I think the queen just did it better herself.
Than anybody could, for real.
Okay. Next one and 2, which is, what themes would you say stood out to you about this book?
Obviously revenge.
Yeah.
And then probably greed.
Yeah, I mean, definitely revenge for me. I would also say I'm really bad with this question because I'm like, what counts as a theme? But definitely revenge. But I also feel like it was kind of like a race against the clock. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, even though like there's a murderer on the train, we're also trying to figure everything out before we get to Chicago. So yeah.
So some of the other ones that I would say is like the consequences of seeking revenge. And I think someone said earlier when we were doing the 3 words, they said justice.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So that was a good one. And the potential for self-destruction.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Because I feel like she was really kind of losing it there.
Yeah.
She was like about to choke out Greta. That was my favorite part.
Really?
I just thought it, because for a while there, like she seemed so calm. Like she was like, someone on this train took out my entire family, but I'm not going to kill anybody. I'm just going to, we're just going to turn you into the FBI. Yeah. I was like, girl, I can tell you right now, if someone did that to my family, there'd be a little bit more going on. Just throwing that out there.
Agreed.
So when she kind of lost control and was like choking her out, I was like, ooh. So I liked that.
Free revenge is coming out.
Yeah.
Let's see. Death Revenge. I remember when, is it Seamus?
Yeah.
Had the pills and could see it was a red herring. Interesting. Themes that stuck out was revenge, choosing to be a better person or not, and lies, and lots of them.
Lots and lots.
Yeah. Just
oh yeah, grief. Yeah, for sure.
I thought you meant say grief. So
yeah.
So many of her actions were the result of grief. So yeah. Gwen wants to start a game with these people.
I mean, come on. They took out your entire family and you're just going to be like, I'm going to turn them over to the police. Nah, girl. Mm-mm.
See, I feel like I would be her because, like, I feel like, what's that saying? Like, revenge is a slow game, or like.
I mean, I know the quote from the book. But that's a question later, so I'm not going to tell you.
No. Okay, next question. Oops. Oh my gosh, what is happening? Delete that dot. Okay. 3 and 4. How close would you say this story was to the Murder on the Orient Express?
I don't think it was close at all to the Murder on the Orient Express. I actually think it was more closely to And Then There Were None. The only thing was the setting.
Yeah.
The setting and then like the snowy atmosphere and stuff like that. That was like Murder on the Orient Express, but it was more closely related to And Then There Were None, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. So I have not read Murder on the Orient Express, but I have heard you talk about it because I think
it is so good.
You and Keisha talking about it, and you spoiled it for me, which I was like, yeah, you could totally tell me because I'm not going to read it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is very similar to that, but I do think it is, And Then There Were None too. But I could see it being more of And Then There Were None. So where is my mouse? Here it is. I for sure think rotting in prison is a worse fate than death. So I be with her.
I don't know. I just think that, like, I get what you're saying, but number one, turning them into the FBI does not ensure that they're going to prison.
Yeah.
That's a maybe. Because they still have to stand up to a jury. And, like, crazier things have happened.
Back in, like, the 50s, the 60s?
Yeah, 50s. 54.
So, I don't know. But, like, would they get the same justice today versus back in the 50s?
I mean, she could have tortured him. She didn't have to just kill him outright.
Again, playing Saul here.
I mean, I just don't know. Like, Lena said, I wouldn't be able to plan revenge that long. I'm too crazy. I just go Lizzie Borden on everyone. Like, she didn't actually plan it that long. She only did it, like, she only planned it for a year. And I'm like, that's not that long, girl. I'm thinking, like, because it was several years, like, years went by before she even started planning this. So I'm like, what made her, like, do this in the first place? But anyway.
Yeah. Murder on the Orient Express is my favorite Christie. I didn't like And Then There Were None. I think the only Murder on the Orient Express similarities is just the setting and multiple people being involved, but it had a lot of variation and twists on its own. Yes, Borden all the way. Which, if you like that, you should probably read The Only One Left. I'm just saying, because I know that was pretty inspired by that. Yeah, there were years where she didn't even know there was any foul play until her aunt told her. That's right. Okay, next. 4 and 2, which is, if you could ask Riley Sager one question specifically about this book, what would it be?
That's a great question. What would I ask him specifically about this book?
I mean, while you think, I can tell you my
Okay, yeah.
So I would personally like to know, like, obviously this is inspired by Agatha Christie's books, but I would like to know, like, what he enjoys about them enough to kind of play his own twist on it. Like, what inspired him to take classic tales from Christie and, make him want to write a story.
Yeah, I have no idea personally what I would ask him about the story. He's such a great like speaker anyway, and
Mm-hmm.
I like how he talks about his book. So I don't know what I would specifically ask him about this book, but I would not specific to this book. I do have a question for him though. And that
Okay.
would be like, does he plan on switching it up like he did with Middle of the Night and this one, or does he plan to return to like his earlier type of normal, like typical when you think of thriller? Like,
Yeah.
does he plan to return to that, or is like he enjoying this different direction that he's taking? Because I'm very curious what he's going to write next. Because I mean, while I'll talk about my rating, my thoughts and feelings on this later, despite my ratings or whatever on this book, I am really missing that like classic
Yeah.
Riley Sager. And I want to know, like, is this the new vibe? Or because, like with Taylor Jenkins Reid, she used to write the romance and then she turned to historical fiction. I kind of want to ask her the same thing. Like, are you sticking on this historical fiction thing? Or are you going to go back to what made me fall in love with your writing in the first place? So I would
I
ask
did
him the
read an
same.
article where someone interviewed him, and the specific question was like, would you label With a Vengeance as a mystery or a thriller? And he said
Mystery.
he specifically doesn't like to label his own books or put it into like these are my own words of what he said, but he doesn't like to confine what he's
Right.
reading, which I get. But like I also get what you mean, because like I personally love classic Sager writing.
Yeah, I want thriller, edge of my seat. Like, I want to be gasping. Yeah, I mean, this is a mystery. He doesn't want to classify himself. That's fine, but this is a straight up mystery. It is a locked room mystery. It says in the book, locked room mystery. So,
Yeah.
like, if he doesn't want to classify himself, that's fine. But like,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I also would love to ask if since he's such a Swiftie, what would he say? Like, what Taylor song would he?
Oh, okay, that would
I'm
be a good
thinking
one.
like vigilante shit for some reason, but like,
Ooh, I do like that. So yeah.
I also don't get the same vibe, but like that's like the closest thing. So, we could also go with Ozzy Osbourne's "Crazy Train." I mean, rest in peace.
I know. Rest in peace.
So, let's see. I would ask him why he chose to write after Agatha. Is she a favorite? Agreed. Why push towards more of a mystery than a typical thriller? But more importantly, I asked, when can we get back to your regular scheduled programs?
Basically, I'm with Wendy.
Yeah. I respect that he's switching things up and dabbing into different tropes and types of characters. And I'm sure he's a little boy
His little boy heart.
was about so happy to write about Jane. Yes. I will also say this. I am so happy we got back to like more of a female main character.
I mean, I know we only got the one guy, but like that's all we needed.
No, like, I was like, you know what? We tried something and
Didn't work out. We moved on.
I think, don't quote me on this, but I think Keisha said he told everyone he'd be back to norm in the next one. Yay! He did mention that at the event I went to, that he was pushing the boundaries of the box he's been pushed in with this book, but in the last, and he does plan to return, I think, in his next
Because
one.
I know a lot of people that were like, okay, the last couple have been misses, and they were like, if I don't like this one, I'm not moving on. So I wonder what his numbers look like as far as like publishing and stuff. And I'd be really curious after his next release, because I think a lot of people, it was like their most anticipated release, but I wonder how people are going to feel for the
Yeah.
next one. You know what I'm
I
saying? Like, I think
wonder,
his viewership is kind of going down a little bit,
yeah,
readership, whatever.
I wonder, because like I know Middle of the Night, I mean, people love it or they hate it, but I do feel like that was not very high compared
Right.
to other ones. And I know with The Vengeance was probably already done in the works. So
Yeah.
I wonder if like after middle of the night, he was like, okay, I need to go back to like what I know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I mean, I will say I do applaud him for trying different things.
I mean, obviously it's his work. You know what I'm saying? Like he has to do what excites him.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a reader no matter what, whether it's us or it's somebody else. Like someone's going to read the book.
Mhm.
And he said in the middle of the night discussion that we went to that he was trying to broaden his readership. He
Yeah.
wanted to reach out to the guys more. He's
Oh
like, I
yeah.
know I have a lot of females reading my books, but like, where's the guys? So
Yeah.
he did the male narrator as like part of that, trying to open it up to a new audience. So I do agree, like he has to write and do what's best for him. But for me personally,
Yeah. I would also like this. I don't know if anyone else thinks this. I would like a different color cover. I feel like he sticks with reds, greens, and blues.
he did pink or purple.
He did do pink, but I would like, I don't know, like I would like a yellow. So
Nah, that's not Riley Sager to me. If he came out with a yellow cover, I'd be like, who is this imposter?
true. I think he just wanted to branch out and make people stop putting him in a box. I agree. I missed
Yes.
Riley Sager last time I lied and locked every door. Yes. Yeah, Keisha, I'm glad I didn't quote you wrong. It's tough because if he writes the same type of things over and over, everyone wants him to write different stuff. But then if he tries something different, everybody don't want it. I mean, we're never going to be satisfied. Let's just be honest.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Good one. I like that. My thing is Riley's plots and twists are from what I'm here for. So this book's plot was slow and boring, and I didn't care about the characters. Same Keisha. So I didn't like it as much. He needs to stick to what he's good at. I feel like it was just the same twist over and over. They're dead. Oh wait, I'm alive. I'm dead.
I know, that's exactly what.
I literally was like, oh my gosh, here we go again. I liked having a male perspective in middle of the night. I do too.
I didn't.
Like,
I don't know if it was that particular story that I didn't like, and then I associate that with the. Yeah, I normally don't care like who's the main character, but I just think it was the story that was lacking for me.
Middle of the night, I was like, I know people complained about Riley Sager writing about female characters as a male, but I enjoy it.
It has never bothered me.
No.
It has never bothered me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's ever said anything that was like offensive to me, but I agree. I loved that book. I didn't get it. Middle of the night, people either loved it or they hate it. Who loved it? The average about a book a week. Wait, I average about a book a week. And while I love some of his books, I have other priorities before this. If his next one sounds good to me, I'll definitely read it. Yeah. Lena, get out of here. Loved Middle of the Night. Someone at the event asked him what he does if he runs out of ideas, and he says he never does. And I was just thinking, okay, but are they all good ideas? Winnie and I can be middle of the night. Yeah, I agree. I don't feel middle of the night much different.
That's what's so different about it is the pacing.
Yeah.
If it was faster paced, I think I would have liked it more.
Yeah. And see, I'm with Keisha. If I like faster pace, grabs my attention, and the twist too.
Yeah.
I loved this. I do love the cover.
Yeah, I loved this cover.
Like, great cover.
Yeah.
I always think when they redo the covers in paperback, I'm like, what's this one going to look like? But I love the cover.
I loved this cover so much. So
I've always loved or hated a Sager book. This was the exception. I thought it was his most middle of the road book. I can see that. Not like Kill for Me, Kill for You, where it was so obviously a man failing to write a woman's perspective. Yeah, I agree. That one was not great. I know you loved that book.
Difference of opinion over here, but
next question. 2 and 5. We are loving the 2s. Do you have any quotes that stood out?
No, that's not it. 2
No?
and 5. Did you
Oh, I'm
like
sorry.
the
I did it backwards. I'm sorry. Did you like the setup of the story by getting to know each of the characters' backstories?
Yes, 100%. I'm a big, like, anytime there's a locked room mystery, especially, I need to have the characters laid out how Agatha Christie would. I need to know who they are, where they're coming from, what their title is, what the relationship is with the main character. Give me a chapter each of them so I can solidify who they are in my head before I move on with the story. Because when you have a larger cast of characters like this, it's going to get confusing, especially when there's like so many guys and, like the two girls, you're like, okay, there's two girls and there's a bunch of guys. So I like when they like laid them out, like, here's my name. And I mean, I did start a character list because I didn't know it was going to do that, but it just helps me distinguish them so much better and like know their relation. And then as the story progresses, if another character gets introduced, which, surprise, that happened in this book, I wasn't like, oh my goodness, now I'm really confused. I already had the main 6 locked down, knew who they were, what they were there for, and like I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Do I think that works with every single book or every single mystery? No. But this type of one where people are going to be getting picked off, yes, it totally worked for me.
I actually did not mind it. Like, if like on paper it sounds horrible. I'm like, why do I want to do this? Like, read everybody's backstory. But it did remind me a lot of And Then There Were None, as they're like approaching the mansion or on their
Yeah. On the
target.
boat on the way. Yeah.
I actually really liked it. And I somewhat did a character list as well. And people were like, oh, you don't need that. It's easy to keep. I could not keep up with anybody, especially Dante when he showed up instead of his dad. I was like, hold on, you're not part of the 6 that's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed getting the backstory. I like that the backstory for each one was short and sweet. Yeah, it was short and sweet, which definitely helped. I don't need their POV again. I just need a little snippet of motivation. I don't need every detail of their life, just the facts. This book reminds me of the movie Clue. It does, yeah. And ironically, I like that movie. So, and I love Clue.
Yeah.
So, well, since I asked the other question, we'll just do that one. Okay. Do you have any quotes from the movie?
The only quote that I highlighted a lot and I actually tabbed a lot, but it was more like to keep track of the story and the plot and the characters and what was happening. But the one quote that I have is on page 75 of the US hardcover, and it says, "Revenge is fleeting, vengeance lasts a lifetime." And I was like, yes. Yes.
I like that quote a lot.
Yeah, me too. So that was the only like quote besides, just stuff that was happening and stuff.
What was the page again?
75.
75.
Revenge is fleeting, vengeance lasts a lifetime.
Okay. I'm going to write that down so I can do something for my Instagram on that. I am the worst when it comes to quotes. I will let you know I don't have a single quote. So
Not surprised. Not surprised.
I'm not surprised. I just don't look for it. And it has to be like a really good quote for me not to.
I don't think thrillers or mysteries are really that great for quotes anyway. It's more like romance or general fiction or, things like that. But yeah, that was the one that I was able to pull out.
Yeah. And it sounds like, everyone else agreed with you on that one. So, okay. Let's roll the dice again. 2 and 6, which is, why do you think Sager wrote this story and what was his goal?
Well, I think he wrote the story because he wanted to do something historical. He had talked about that in the middle of the night thing, that next he wanted to kind of go further back in time, because all of his books have like this like timeline in his head that I don't still fully understand everything, how things connect, like what he was talking about. Because when I was reading this, I was like, how does this connect to the other things I read? It doesn't. Cool. But I knew he said he wanted to kind of connect this timeline thing that he had going on. I think he wanted to try something different, and I think he likes Agatha Christie. So like, why not write it?
That's my answer too. And I think we've already kind of semi went over that too.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me, 2 and 6. Next question. 5 and
Ooh.
5. My favorite numbers. Do you feel like the twists were done well and how they were placed in the story?
Yes, I will say that there were some kind of like classic twists. What was his name? I have my little look at my okay, I have to show them these notes. So I started with a little sticky note to like keep track of the character list, like I said, and then I just kept going with the sticky notes. And I just these are my notes on the book.
I know you showed those to me.
So I just
The
like
world.
kept writing on the sticky note. Okay.
Are you
So
gonna
what
keep
was
that in
his
the book?
name? What? Yeah, I'm gonna keep it in the book. Reggie, right? I knew right away that he was like a detective or FBI or something like. I knew he wasn't just an everyday like, oh my gosh, I got on the train on accident. No, 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 because that's not what happens in stories like this. There's always a hidden detective, you know. So I knew right away. Like I is it a twist? Yes, if you've never read a book like this before. But spoiler, it happens in every single locked room mystery ever. So there
Yeah.
were some twists that I definitely saw coming. And then there were others that I didn't, that like Seamus did actually kill someone and that he was dying and he jumped off the train. I was like, holy crap. Like, you know, so there were things that I saw coming that I expected to see coming, but I like that he did it maybe a little bit different on some things. But there were definitely things that I did not see coming as well.
Yeah. I think for me, like I kind of knew. So before starting the book, I knew this book was not getting really great reviews. So I was going in with like super low expectations. But I also heard like, and then there were none in the Orient Express, which I know the twists for those. So I feel like also kind of knowing them, I was kind of semi spoiled for them, like ever just like slightly.
Yeah.
Um,
But then there was like obvious things that I like should have known, like Judd not being dead. I was like, girl, duh, he's not dead. Like, why didn't I think of that? But like I totally didn't.
yeah.
So there was, you know, I was just along for the ride. So
I also feel like because I personally did not enjoy the story very much because of it being kind of like a slower pace, that when something was revealed, it was like, ah, cool, that's great. Moving on. So yeah, it
I think
wasn't.
that's just the pacing of stories like that
Mhm.
because you basically have like the death that happens and then they're like, "Oh no, what happened?" So they're like investigating, but then there's like, "Okay, everything's back to normal now. We're going to shove this dead body off to the side and now we're just going about our normal everyday business." And then
Yeah,
someone else died. So there is that long kind of pause, dead space in the middle where like nothing is really happening. So it is, they are typically like a slower type of pacing.
yeah,
But I'm used to that. Once I went in and I knew, okay, this is a locked room mystery, my expectations were set. And I think that really helped me moving forward into the story.
yeah. Also, it being a locked room mystery, not my favorite jam.
You're
Like,
like, okay, cool.
which but I love Sager, so I was like hoping for the best, but I was also
Yeah.
like, ugh. So okay. My only guess is that he loves Agatha Christie and wants to do a tribute, maybe. Yeah. Oh, there's a timeline posted.
Oh, yeah, please do,
Yeah. I
Brandon.
remember I remember when he posted on Instagram, like when he was hyping this book up. I was like, ooh, this is so cool. Oh, thanks if you could post it on Discord too. I think he nailed the historical element, by the way. Sometimes authors attempt historical fiction and it just doesn't hit or isn't believable or not well researched.
Well, right, because I sure was Googling a couple things. I was like, okay, this is 1954. When was the FBI created? Like, I
I
was
was
looking up things
also wondering that too.
because
I
I
was
was
like,
like, okay, I need to know. So,
yeah.
yeah, so everything that I did Google, I was like, okay, facts. He did his research. Cool,
I
cool,
was
cool.
also like, how did she contact the FBI to be in Chicago at this time? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but everything checked out. I was like, okay. And that was one thing that was brought up my other. They're like, why didn't she just like, why didn't the FBI just like come and get the people immediately? I'm like, the reason why she did that is because they had to look through the evidence first to see if it was plausible. You know,
Yeah,
she had to give them time. But
agreed. Also, we love a little dramatic moment. So
yeah.
I loved the twist. The last half was what brought it home for me because I was hating it before that. I thought the twists were boring and predictable. I wanted my jaw to hit the floor. Same girl.
I also think that people like you can't I mean, it sucks. We all have expectations in authors, you know. We know what made us fall in love with Riley Sager. For me, it was like that twisty, on the edge of my seat, gasping for breath. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this thing. But like he didn't go into this when he wrote this book. That wasn't his intention. His
Yeah.
intention was totally different. I'm going to write a totally different historical fiction
Yeah.
locked room mystery. So if you go in expecting edge of your seat thriller, fast pacing, you have to be on the same page as the
I
author.
also think he does very well, like creating like an ominous setting. Like
Mm-hmm.
the last time I lied, the camp was very ominous. The Bartholomew Hotel
Mm-hmm.
was very creepy. Home Before Dark was a haunted house. Um,
The lake and the house across the lake.
yeah, the lake and the house, and the
Yeah.
house with the girl with yeah, all that.
The
Survive the
tent in
night.
middle of the night.
Yeah, middle of
Creepy.
the night. Also the weird like, was it a church in the woods?
No, it was like that research center.
Oh yeah, the research center. Yeah, in the middle of the woods. Survive the night getting in a car with a complete stranger who may or may not be a serial killer.
Yeah. So do you think that the atmosphere in this one was fit the vibe?
Well, for one, we knew who was plotting revenge. We knew the people were bad and what they did. And I mean, the train was just a train.
Well, it seemed like, I don't know. I liked that some of the characters had ties to the train. Like her
Yes,
dad helped do this, and she had
but
been
it's
on this
not.
train before, and then this person always rode it when they were a kid. And like I liked it. And then it being locked, and there's no stops, and there's no people that work on the train. It is literally just us. Like I
I
thought that
guess
was all super
it
interesting.
didn't give me that uneasy setting of the setting.
So you don't being think locked in a train from Philadelphia to Chicago with a killer is ominous?
I mean, were there Biscoff cookies involved? Because
No, no Biscoff cookies. Remember, there was no food. He made that crappy mustard roast beef sandwich. No, there was no food. No
no,
one went to the
it just
bathroom. They were just hiding in the bathroom. There was no.
yeah, the train just didn't give me a creepy setting.
Okay. It
But
gave me the creeps. I did.
yeah,
I did have the accordion.
I thought the twists were exhausting and became anticlimactic. Okay. I thought the twists were shocking enough and not just out of nowhere. And I like how Riley Sager wove all the pieces and twists together. Did I see that coming? Yes. Were they done well? Probably also yes. Seamus jumping off the train was not on my radar. I agree. I like how some of the twists ended up not being what actually happened and made a new twist.
Like the heart attack, that was classic. So like the first faked heart attack, I was like, okay, all right, I got your number down. But then he had the second heart attack, and I was like, oh man, he really had a nope, he faked me again.
I need the only one left twist.
And see, and I thought that one had too many twists.
Yeah, it was a little chaotic at the end.
So you can't please
Her brother wasn't actually on the train. I was afraid there were. Yeah, I also thought that too.
Yeah, when she kept like seeing him and stuff like that, I was like, what if he's not dead? I'm glad he didn't go paranormal.
With it being a mystery, he was able to still remain true to himself with the classic Sager twist. I appreciate the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree with Lena. I think Sager's downfall is that the cast of characters is usually small, and I like to see what he does with a bigger cast. I think it was plenty, but that's just me.
Yeah, I don't really. I mean, how much bigger do you want than like this cast? This cast, I thought was pretty big. So you have like 7, 8.
Yeah.
8 characters. I don't know. I felt
pretty big characters too.
Yeah. But
atmosphere perfect. He could have still wrote better twists regardless of what the genre was. I've had mysteries make my jaw drop. I just don't know why he withheld what he does so great.
But we also don't know his motivation. Like, was he trying to stick super close to Agatha Christie, or was he trying to write? Was he trying to reinvent the wheel? I would say he was not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think a lot of people were
Yeah.
disappointed. They were like, you can write this, but we need something different. And I don't think that was his motivation.
Yeah.
So
I 100% agree with you on that. He does atmosphere so well. Agreed. The twists were predictable. The train totally worked for me, especially with the snowstorm. Oh yeah. Okay, I'll give you a little credit on that. It creeps me out every time someone was walking around alone. I think it would make a great movie. Yeah, I could totally see this as a movie. Hi, sorry I'm late. This was sadly a 2.5 star for me, despite loving Sager. No worries. Cast was already huge. Too much nonsense to function. Speaking of movie, are we ever getting an adaptation? Yeah, I feel like how big he is. Why is none of his stuff actually being made in movies? You know what I mean? I know. He needs to just say we're getting all of them. Yeah. Okay, we need a Riley movie. I agree. But the comparison is probably why this one didn't. Yeah, I agree. He was trying too hard to
and why it did work for other people.
exactly. There we're almost at an hour. There were a few questions I did want to do
Yeah.
just solely because people submitted those.
Yeah.
So I'll go
Let's
ahead
get
and
to
bring
that.
us back to
I
normal.
loved that though. I think you should do that
Yeah.
again.
Maybe shockingly, I was able to do this today. So, so Lena asked, "Do you think justice was served?"
That's a good question. I don't know. Because I kind of agree what they said earlier. Like, if you're just killing people, like if people are just dying, like, is that really justice? Killing and killing. But at the same time, like, ultimately, I was gonna say, I ultimately think like I'll go with yes. But it's a hard one to answer. It depends on your own
Yeah,
morals and values.
I
Like,
also feel like at that point, I was just like, "Okay, we're almost done." I really didn't care, but I do think ultimately, like, it was served, even though it was not the original plan whatsoever. So,
right.
yeah. Okay. We've already done that one. Um, I think okay. Where does this book fall into your ranking of Riley Sager?
Okay, I have my ranking written down. I've read all of his stuff. So there's 9 books and it falls number 5. So right in the middle. 4
Okay.
above it and 4 below it.
Okay. Okay. Everyone else, let us know your ranking as well. I would agree. I think it was served, like, not only physically, but I do think she needed to just hear these people and know
That was what made me say yes. Is she wanted them just to admit it.
yeah.
Because she would even say, like, oh, so you're admitting it. You did do, XYZ. And they were like, well, they wouldn't answer her after that. But she was like, well, you already said it. So that's what I think, Yeah.
Agree. My lowest Riley Sager. I'm so sorry. No worries. Um, I'm kind of scared to say my answer.
No, you're like all the people in the comments that didn't like it. I already know. You're going to.
So I think after this discussion, I know where I'm sitting at my ranking or my rating. Sorry. I think this is the lowest of them
You
all.
do even below the house across the lake.
I think honestly, because I was so intrigued until I was not intrigued. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's okay. So I'm contemplating because like I feel like it was just okay. Like I didn't hate it.
Okay, let's go over the book because I need to make sure this is your lowest rated.
Okay.
I mean, it's because remember, she does not like the and then there were none trope.
I do not.
You're not a locked-room mystery girly. So the last time I lied, is it above? Yeah, 9.
Okay.
I'll tell you all of the books.
Okay. I'm going
So Final Girls.
Okay.
The Last Time I Lied.
Okay.
Lock Every Door. Home Before Dark. Survive the Night. The House Across the Lake. The Only One Left. Middle of the Night, and then this one.
Yeah, I think it's my lowest.
Final Girls is above this for you.
Yeah.
Middle of the Night is above this for you.
Yes.
Girl. No. So my ranking, like I said, I have 4 above it. The 4 that I enjoyed more than this one is The Last Time I Lied, which is my number 1. Survive the Night, the one with the car, and which I know is such an unpopular opinion, but suck it. Home Before Dark, and The Only One Left. And I actually rated Home Before Dark 4 stars and The Only One Left 5 stars, but I still think I liked Home Before Dark better, if that makes sense.
That one's my favorite.
So, and then With a Vengeance, and then Lock Every Door, Final Girls, Middle of the Night, House Across the Lake.
Yeah, I think mine is Home Before Dark, The Last Time I Lied, The Only One Left. Ooh. Survive the Night, Lock Every Door, Final Girls. Actually, I think I kind of want to reread The House Across the Lake. Is that weird?
No, I will never reread that book, but I do want to reread Final Girls. And I love Caroline's comment, Gwen, read better books, babe. LOL. I say this with love.
Yeah, so I think Middle of the Night, House Across the Lake, and then this one. Yeah, I think that's my final rating.
Yeah. And I think better books is subjective, so
yeah.
You know.
I think that was all the ones that people had submitted too. I think we had answered a few. Okay. And I'll post this thing in Discord if people want to read through all the questions and leave any answers to any of them. But what is your final star rating for this book?
4 stars. I loved it. 2 stars. I knew it. I really liked it. I liked that it was like a classic locked room mystery. It felt very comfortable. It felt very like nostalgic. It felt very Agatha Christie, which is exactly what he was going for. I like how he set up the characters. I thought the pacing was perfect for a locked room mystery. I liked the motivation. I liked his different take on it. I like that even though he pulled out some of the classic twists in these type of books, like it still shocked me, even though I should know. Yeah, I really liked it. Is it my favorite? Obviously not, but I really like locked room mysteries. So
yeah. And I think it's just me. And I feel like this book is all over the place with ratings. I honestly have not seen any 1-star reviews, and I have not seen any 5-star reviews except Brandon.
Yeah.
I think there was one more person. But like I feel like it's like 2, 3, or 4.
And I mean, that being said, like I rated it 4 stars because I went in with the expectation that this is a locked room mystery. If I had different expectations going in, like it was going to be a thriller or something, I would have been disappointed. But because I just let authors take me on a ride, like I don't really show up to books with an expectation in mind. I'm just like, what are you going to write? And how, like, what did you set out to write and how did you pull it off? And I think he pulled it off well. That being said, I don't want more of this. I want him to return to what he used to write, like all the ones that I rated above this.
Yeah. I mean, he's still going to write books and I'm still going to buy them. So, yeah. So, as long as it's not another locked room mystery, I'm totally down for reading.
I'm with Brandon, where he said, I'm sticking with,
Yeah. Sticking with 4.5, rounding up to a 5 on Goodreads. Was it different than normal stuff? Yes. But I went into it. Yeah. I agree.
Thank you, Brandon. That's exactly it.
Yeah. Okay, the last thing I have is, do you have any recommendations, movies or books, if people want something similar to this?
Okay, so I kind of went the and then there were none route because I don't really think it was like Murder on the Orient Express. Mm-hmm. So some of the ones I have read and I have felt, various things about these. So while I didn't like rate these 4 or 5 stars like you might. So One by Ruth Ware, The Guest List by Lucy Foley, Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney, 10 by Gretchen McNeil, The Engagement Party by Darby Kane, They All Fall Down by Rachel Housel Hall, and the one that is like one of the newer ones that I've read is You Are Fatally Invited by Andy Plagio, or however you say that person's name. That was an aardvark pick, and that was very similar as well. For movies, some of the movies that I've either like read or read a spinoff or watched a spinoff of, Strangers on a Train. That's like an old like 50s movie, I think, or 30. I don't even know. I
Yeah.
guess it's like 30s because they mentioned it in the book. So, Terror Train, which is actually a slasher, and Bullet Train
Okay.
that came out in 2022. It's about like assassins and stuff like that. So, those are all like take place on a train. But some of the ones that they mentioned in the book itself, and she was like, "Why did I choose the train, you ask?" And she got inspiration from movies: Strangers on the Train, The Narrow Margin, and The Lady Vanishes.
Yeah.
So,
So a lot of mine you had already mentioned as far as recommendations. So like One by One, I hated that book. I'm also
yeah,
not Ruth Ware's biggest fan.
yeah.
So, but I know people love her stuff. So I would say One by One. I also said Daisy Darker. For movies, I would also recommend Knives Out. I personally have not seen that, but I feel like it kind of gives that vibe a little bit. Of course, and then there were none. Murder on the Orient Express, like both of those. I would also say if you want like another train thriller, I would say the Woman on the Train,
Mm,
which is also a book as well. So you could definitely read that one. Completely different vibe, but it's got a train on it. So,
yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm just not thinking of. I probably just didn't keep the book because I don't typically like collector mysteries, but
Yeah.
I also that's on my wish list for this fall is to watch Knives Out because I've never seen
That
it.
was so fun. And it was also funny. It was almost like, I don't think it was supposed to be making fun of itself, but it felt like it was. So,
Oh, I love those types of movies. So
but I don't think it was supposed to. So, I don't think it was supposed to be funny, but
it
I
was
found it funny.
unintentionally making fun of itself. Well, thank you so much for being my co-host again for another Riley
Yeah.
Sager book as
Thanks for
well.
letting me always pick Riley Sager. She's like, "You want to be my guest? Only if I can read Riley Sager with you."
Well, I won't guarantee next year,
No, we probably won't. And
but
it'll
it,
probably be his best yet.
yeah,
I'll be so mad.
unless it's something that just screams classic Sager,
Yeah.
we'll see. So, I do have a little bit of an update. So, next month we are reading The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. Originally, I was going to have Maddie from This Bookish Cottage join me as my co-host. Unfortunately, some things have happened in her life to where she's not able to join me, which is completely understandable. After she told me what was going on, I was like, "No, girl, like, don't worry about it." I know she posted on Instagram, so if you want to go see it. I'm not going to like spread her business, but so next month I'm going to have a returning guest. I have Jules. This Jules from Jules Books and Things. She was actually a co-host earlier this year, but she is so gracious enough to jump in. So we're going to be reading The Ghostwriter, and the date is changing. It's going to be the Tuesday. So it's not going to be Monday. It's going to be Tuesday, I believe the 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern. So that just gives you one extra day to pick up a copy and read the book. So thanks, Jules. You are amazing for doing that. And yeah, Gwen, do you have any final words you'd like to say?
No, thank you guys for showing up for the discussion. I agree with what Wendy said, that we had ratings all over the map. To me,
I
I don't
love
care.
ratings all over the map.
Yeah, me too. Cause like, I don't care, honestly, what anybody else rated it, but I think it makes for a more dynamic discussion when people like liked it, loved it, middle of the road it. So I love discussions like that. So yeah, my fave. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
of course. And I'm glad the game kind of worked out.
Yeah. Do it
I
again. Do it again.
prepared for another game. I can't guarantee it's gonna be the same thing, but we'll see what we can do. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Gwen's channel is linked down below, so make sure you go give her a subscribe as well. Subscribe here, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye.